Where will the markets go? That's the question we always ask ourselves, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss in this week's edition of the Weekly Market Predictions. I'll be taking you guys through the top 5 major pairs, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, the dollar Swiss, and the dollar yen, and I'll be talking about where we could see these markets go throughout the rest of the week and the levels of structure that I'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you're alerted whenever we come out with new weekly market prediction videos. And I'm going to go ahead and let the intro and disclaimer roll. I'll see you guys on the other side. So here we are on the euro dollar daily chart, and last week we talked about this market possibly falling from this level here, possibly having a push down all the way to our 116.5s or close to 116.5, around 116.65. So that's what we were talking about in last week's video, and we actually had a pretty nice trade based on that analysis. I'll drop down to the 4-hour chart and show you guys a little more about that. So what we were expecting out of this pair and what we wanted to see and discussed in last week's video was a break of this level and a close below, and then some kind of entry reason to the short side. We talked about that in last week's video. If you'd like to see that full video, I'll put a link in the description. But after this break, we actually got a nice simple pattern right in here, and we have a flag pattern and a nice breakout that made some pretty good profit on this trade. I'm not going to play the clip from last week's weekly predictions about the euro dollar because we did an entire video talking about this trade, so I'll put that link in the description as well. But here's a screenshot of the title of last week's video where we talked about taking the euro dollar on a short trade. And guys, these moves happen pretty fast, so if you would like to be among the first alerted about these weekly market prediction videos, make sure you're subscribed here to the trading channel, along with subscribe to our email list over at thetradingchannel.net. To do that, just click the link in the description labeled email list or the link in the top right hand corner of your screen. Otherwise, let's continue the analysis here on the euro dollar. So that's something we were talking about last week. That's a trade we got from last week's weekly market prediction videos. But now what can we expect throughout the rest of this week and in the near term future for the euro dollar? Let's zoom back out to the daily chart and talk about that. So here on the daily chart, our next obvious point of structure is right in here. So what we're looking for is to see if this market can come down into that level and give an entry reason. Now, if the market blows past this level and gives no entry reason, then we're not going to be looking for a long trade in this area. But if we come down to this level and get some kind of nice entry reason, then we may take this market long and see if we can get a push at least up to this level here, possibly all the way back up to 1.206. And we do have non-farm payroll coming out this week for the US, so that's going to play a major factor in this euro dollar pair and in all the pairs we're going to discuss in this week's weekly market predictions. But here at the trading channel, we stick mainly to technicals, and technically we have support at 1.1665, where we could see some buying pressure come out of this market. We also have support if we break through the 1.1665 area down around 1.1453, which could be another solid place to look for buying opportunities or to take off any short positions as a second target. Now, as for resistance, if we see a nice rally out of this support zone that we're looking at here on the euro dollar, then we can look right here for our first level of resistance, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put a red line in that area because that is a level in the market that has been tested multiple times in the past. We have a test here as resistance and here twice as support. So now if the market gets back up to that level, it'll be a really interesting place to try some short trades if we get some kind of entry reason down on a lower time frame or here on the daily time frame. That's going to be around the 1.1881 area. Directly following that, if we get another push higher, we'll be looking up here at our highest point for the euro dollar this year around the 1.2060 level. That'll be another good spot to look for counter trend opportunities to the downside or to take off targets on a long position. And finally, last but not least, we're looking at the 1.2295 area for our last level of resistance here on the euro dollar. So as for immediately on the euro dollar, we're looking for one of a couple of things. We're looking for this market to pull down a little more into our 1.1665 zone and give us some kind of entry reason to the buy side before the NFP later on in the week, or we're looking for this market to rally up into the 1.188 level and give us some kind of entry reason to the downside. So guys, that's exactly what we're looking for out of the euro dollar, and those are the major levels of structure that I'm going to be paying attention to for trading opportunities. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the Aussie dollar. Alright traders, so here we are on the Aussie dollar, and as you can see we're floating around a major support level at the moment here at the 0.7814 area, and this is an area where we will be looking for some type of buying opportunities down on lower time frame. This is a level that's been tested multiple times in the past as support and resistance and could play a major role in the direction of this market. Now as for our next level of support on this pair, if we break below this level, it's going to be around the 0.7732. That's our next major level to look for not only buying opportunities but possibly take off a position if we get entered into a short trade here on the Aussie dollar. Now as for resistance, this line needs to be changed to red. Now that we're below, it is going to become resistance, and we can be looking at the 0.7898 level as our first level for targets if we get triggered into a long trade from where we are, and also as a possible level to take this market short. Above that, we have another major level of resistance at 0.8020. And really this entire zone here is going to act as a zone where we can expect some kind of bearish reaction out of this market, and so that's what we'll be looking for in the future here on the Aussie dollar. But as for right now on the Aussie dollar, what I'm going to do is actually talk to you guys at first about how important it is to realize that these levels are important, but we don't just go through the market pointing out these levels and placing entries. We talked about that in last week's video. Last week we were talking about this 0.7898 level as support right here, and we said if the market gets down to that level we'll be looking for buying opportunities, and we did. But guys, we got no such buying opportunity at this area. When I say buying opportunity, I mean I'm looking for an entry reason. And so let's head down to a lower time frame so I can further explain that. So here we are on what I would consider a trading time frame on the 4-hour chart, and guys, if you'll notice, here's our area that we expected to become support and nothing happened at all. There was no reason to buy this market from this area when the market just pushed right below it. That will happen a lot. You'll have a market that just does not respect a major level of structure. The key to successful trading using structure like this is to wait for the market to get to that area that you're paying attention to and give you some kind of entry reason based on your trading plan. So that's something you definitely want to take into consideration when placing trades. And do you notice anything different about this level, guys? Here we have a major level of structure. This blue line we pointed out on the daily chart, market's pushed down now, created a bottom, and what else? Another bottom at a previous daily level of structure. Now you're starting to get into conditions meeting with entry reasons, which can make the accuracy of a trade much higher. So at this level is where I'll be paying attention to for buying opportunities. We do have this double bottom here, but I'm currently waiting for a little more confirmation out of this market before taking a long position based on some entry reasons that we discuss in the EAP Training Program. So that's what we're looking for here out of the Aussie dollar as of right now. So next up, we're going to be taking a look at the pound dollar. Let's go ahead and head to that chart and discuss what we're expecting throughout the rest of the week on the pound dollar. Alright guys, so here we are on the pound dollar, and last week on this chart we had a couple of different predictions that we made, and one of them ended up working out quite nicely. Although we didn't get a chance to get involved in a trade, we were correct about how the market would move. We just did not get the actual entry reason we needed to take advantage of it. But hindsight is 20/20, so what I'm going to do is actually show you guys a clip from last week's video where we were talking about what we could expect out of this market. So let's take a look at that clip, and I'll be right back to share with you guys what we're expecting out of this market in the future. We're at this support level, and there is another scenario where our bias reverses. So right now looking for long trades, but if we get a pretty decent close below that level, we're going to immediately switch that bias to short and be trying to take short trades all the way down to 1.3233 level here on the pound dollar. So that's what we're looking at here. So guys, this 1.3441 level is the level that we were talking about. If we got a decent close below, we'd start looking for reasons to go short here on the pound dollar. And let's drop down to a smaller time frame real fast and take a look at what we got. So this red line here is the level we were talking about, and as you can see, the market did end up pushing down from that level, closing way below it and pulling back into that level. Now, as I said, we didn't end up with a trading opportunity, but as you can see, that analysis played off quite nicely as the market pushed down towards that next level of support that we had pointed out at 1.3233. So that's what we were looking at last week out of the pound dollar. Let's head back out to the daily chart and see what we can expect in the future. So as we just pointed out, the market is getting pretty close to our 1.3233 zone. In this zone is a place we can start looking for some buying pressure in this market. And if we break below that level, then we may see this market drop all the way down to the 1.305 zone. And in that zone is the next place we would be looking for trading opportunities to the long side. Now, if we do see some support at 1.3233, then we may see this market push up from that level all the way into the 1.3441 zone. And that's where we can start looking for some shorting opportunities back down And if we break above that zone, then the next level of resistance we're looking at is these highs over here at the 1.3597 area. So this week out of the pound dollar, what we can expect to possibly see is this market push down a little bit lower here in towards our zone. And at this zone, we may see some buying pressure, pushing us up to the 1.344 zone. And we may see this market just break below this level if we see some US strength. And in that case, we'll start looking for some shorting opportunities if that move is impulsive down to our next level of support. So that's what we're looking for in the future and immediately here on the pound dollar. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at our next pair, which is going to be the dollar Swiss. So last week we were talking about how messy this dollar Swiss chart is because of the fact that we're in this period of consolidation, looking something like this, where the market's been unable to break above roughly the 0.975 area and unable to break below roughly 0.945. So because of that, we've been in this period of consolidation here on the daily chart, and there's not really a clear direction of which way this market's going to go. Now, obviously, as of recently, we have this move up, and down on smaller time frames, of course, that's going to be an uptrend, which means that if we do drop down to a trading time frame, we are in an uptrend on that time frame. But we do have a counter trend trading opportunity at the moment. The reason being because we're right here at this top level of resistance of our period of consolidation. So in a second, we'll drop down to a lower time frame, and I'll show you guys a trading opportunity that I'm paying attention to here on the dollar Swiss for just a brief trade to the downside, looking at it as a counter trend opportunity and knowing that as a counter trend trade, this market is likely to break above this level. So because of that, I want to make sure I get targets taken off pretty quickly here if I do take a short trade. But we'll go down and discuss that in just a second. For now, let's talk about the other levels of support and resistance we can pay attention to throughout the week here on the dollar Swiss. If we get a major move up out of this pair, then we can look for our next level of resistance around the 0.9869 level. This is a place the market found support many times in the past and through here. And we can expect this level to possibly turn into resistance if the market gets up there to retest it once more. As for support, if we get pushed down from the level we're at right now in a major way, all the way down here to 0.9628, that's a level we can start to look for possible buying opportunities or second targets if we get a trading opportunity from this level. And if we push below that level, we can look at the 0.9558 level for other buying opportunities. Now, as for what we're looking at right now out of the dollar Swiss, let's drop down to a smaller time frame and check out what we have on this pair. So here, not much on the 4-hour time frame. Let's drop down one more time frame and go to the hourly time frame. All right, guys, so here we are on the hourly chart. And for those of you who trade advanced patterns, do you see anything interesting about this chart? I'll go ahead and point it out for you guys. We have an advanced cipher pattern coming up to that 382 retracement right here. Pull that the rest of the way down. Now let's look for that 127 extension from X down to A. Back up. We have that 127 extension. That's the second rule met. And the entry for this pattern is around the 786 retracement from X all the way down to C. So as you can see, the market hovering above that cipher pattern entry at the moment, but that pattern looks a little bit like this and just happens to be coming in right at this daily level of resistance on the dollar Swiss. And we actually also have a different advanced pattern here at the same level. I'll let you see if you can spot that. If I delete the cipher pattern off the screen, did anyone see this advanced Gartley pattern? So not only do we have that cipher pattern, we also have this Gartley pattern coming in X to A with a 618 retracement, another 618 down to C, and then finishing up that pattern right at that daily level of resistance. So two different advanced patterns ending right at that level. And guys, if you're interested in getting your hands on a free butterfly pattern tutorial, another one of these very accurate advanced patterns, then what you can do is just sign up for the email list over at thetradingchannel.net, and you will get a free butterfly pattern tutorial sent directly to your inbox. That link is in the description below the video. But let's go ahead and move on to our next pair. That's what we're expecting here out of the dollar Swiss. That's something we're taking a look at the moment here on this pair, and we'll see how this plays out. But next up, we're going to take a look at the dollar yen and discuss the major levels of structure we're paying attention to for trading opportunities on that pair. All right, traders, so here we are on that dollar yen chart. And last week on this pair, we talked about having a long bias and looking for some long trading opportunities on lower time frames, and we actually spotted this nice advanced Gartley pattern. Now, unfortunately, this advanced pattern did not quite complete, but we also talked about just having a long bias on this pair in general and expecting it to move up, and that analysis in itself did play out, although we didn't get an opportunity to actually get involved. And if you want to check out that analysis, I'm going to have the link in the description along with in the top right hand side of your screen to last week's Forex market predictions video. Alright, so now what are we expecting next out of the dollar-yen pair? Well, we have a few different levels of structure that we need to be paying attention to, and the first one on my radar is going to be this level at 111.92 right here. This is a level I'm waiting for the market to pull back into, and if we get that pullback into that level, I'll be looking for buying opportunities on this pair. Now, if we break and close below that level, I'll be waiting to see if we can get back down to these resistance levels here, back in the past, along with these support levels around the 110.89 zone to look for my next buying opportunity on this pair. Now, the other scenario is that this market is pushed up, let's say by the non-farm payroll later on this week. And in that case, if we get a break above this resistance level on a lower time frame, then I expect this market to continue in this uptrend until we get to around the 114.18 zone. So I'll be looking for long trades on lower time frames up to that zone before looking at that zone as a counter trend shorting opportunity. Now at this point, we also need to point out another level of resistance above that area, and the first one that I see is right in here. This is a level, once I change this to red, that has been touched multiple times as resistance, and they could possibly act as resistance again if the market gets up to that level. So this more than likely will not happen this week, but let's say in the next couple of weeks we get a push up and then a push above the 114.18 zone. The next level we'll be looking at for resistance is around 115 even for our next counter trend shorting opportunity on the dollar yen. And that's some things we can expect to see out of the dollar yen pair and out of the top 5 major pairs in the Forex market. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this video to be valuable. If you did, please go ahead and click that like button for me. If you're new, do not forget to subscribe. If you're interested in advanced patterns, then you would like to get that free butterfly pattern course, then you can click the link in the description labeled free training. And for those of you who find this style of trading to be interesting and you're having trouble becoming profitable on your own, we also offer a paid training course called the EAP here at the Trading Channel. This course has already helped many traders go from being in a slump in their trading and consistently losing money to becoming profitable, and I'll post a few of their testimonials on the screen now. This program comes complete with a full training course, along with weekly emails pointing out trades that I plan to take 3 to 5 times a week, and of course personal help if you have any trouble through the course or any Forex questions. Now in this training course, there's a vast amount of information including strategies, back testing, psychology, risk and money management, and you get access to all of that as long as you are a member at the EAP Training Program. So if you would like to try that program out and see if it can help you on your journey to becoming a profitable trader, then of course there's a link in the description along with in the top right hand corner of your screen. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Remember to stick to your plan, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.